Hello, Jim Rosenthal here. The big fight comes from Monterrey in Mexico, where a boxing legend makes a rare appearance on home ground. For Julio Cesar Chavez, it's a record world title fight number 31, but only his 6th in Mexico. Chavez is still one of the sport's greatest attractions. The challenger is Tony the Tiger Lopez, and he's promised to stop Chavez. He's aggressive and very confident of claiming the WBC 10-stone crown. We'll also see the dramatic ending to the world middleweight title fight between the Argentinian champion Jorge Castro and John David Jackson. But first, it's Chavez Lopez, watched by a huge crowd in the region of 60,000. Supporting Lopez could endanger your health. Here's Jim Watt and Reg Gartridge.
Well, Chavez has to be the fighter of the decade, doesn't he? 3-weight champion, only 1 loss in 93 fights. But some say he's getting slightly ring-worn. Had 2 lucky escapes with Pernell Whitaker and Frankie Randall, but some ankle problems. But certainly looked the business last time out, stopping Meldrick Taylor, seen on ITV. Tony Lopez, 3-time champion at 2 weights. Talented performer, moved up from super feather to light welter. Big draws in Sacramento, California, drawn the biggest gates in the state. And well, if you're old enough to go back to the great Alex James, Jim, these trunk, I'm afraid, just made him look like a non-starter with his.
I don't understand if people want to wear those pants. I don't know if they think they look nice. I can only imagine the feeling on the bend of your knee. It would irritate you, but I mean, I don't see the point in those at all.
Well, maybe Mum had some curtains over. Anyway, certainly Chavez, you know, on his days, he's a brilliant fighter. Jim, you were saying if he'd spoken more English, he'd have been far more popular really worldwide. It's strange that, you know, they judge the images outside the ring as well, the fans, really.
Yeah, in the fight trade, he's obviously a superstar, but he would have been a mega star, I think, if he'd been English speaking. And you know, the English speaking nations got to know him better. What a tremendous fighter. And this really is a good match, but the big question obviously is, can we expect anybody to come up through the lighter weight divisions and be able to trade punches with Chavez? It would take somebody really special to be able to do that. Lopez has been a special fighter, but I wonder if he can have enough power to trouble Chavez.
Oh, he's coming to what would be the cheap end of the purse, but it's not bad. $320,000 plus 20,000 expenses for training. And he went to one of the highest spots of California to do his training, to get used to any altitude in Monterrey, but by Mexican standards, the altitude is not too bad at all, and the temperature is around 60. Rained all day, but luckily I think Don King had a word with somebody, and it's been clear from the start of the show.
Well, Lopez doesn't seem to have changed his natural fighting style. I wonder maybe if he would change, be a bit more mobile to suit Chavez. But it seems to be his usual style, standing his ground, letting some good punches go.
Just a bit of a searching start as we come up to the end of the opening round then of this WBC Championship.
Suck it in. I don't want you to say nothing down. Tranquilón, pícalo. Mira, okay? Cerradito, no te estamos golpes ya. Cerrado, no te das la tabla.
Second round. Certainly Lopez came into the fight absolutely brimming with confidence, Jim, although he's with a very hostile crowd here. Total idol throughout Mexico, and a big favourite actually in the States in the Chavez these days. Just wonder whether a little bit of glitter's going, Jim. Although we were very impressed the way he came from behind at the start there and defeated Meldrick Taylor, who really looked good in the opening rounds. He wears his opponents down. He gradually dissects them, Jim Chavez.
I mean, he can't keep that tremendous standard, obviously. He's made plenty of money, he's realised most of his dreams. It's difficult to keep that ambition, but he still has that little, true fighter's heart, and when he has to raise the pace at crucial times in fights, he usually manages to do it.
Lopez has proven himself a bit of a warrior over the years, Jim. He's come back from tough fights. People like John Molina has fought in a third three-timer. Had a broken cheekbone as well in a fight. So losing only 4 of 50, Tony Lopez. You would exactly write him off, would you? Nickname Tiger.
I just can't help wondering what's going to happen when the fight reaches a stage where power is required. If Lopez is going to be able to stay with Chavez.
Well, first word really from the Argentine referee, Luis Guzman.
Well, the quantity of punches coming from Lopez in the early stages, Chavez seems happy just to range fine with the left jab at the moment, hasn't started putting together. First they tried the right hand there.
Well, the crowd knew it. Lopez tended to ignore it, I think. Harris has 30 world title fights. I think that's an all-time record. Who was it that said the fight is not what they used to be?
Catching late now, yep.
Yeah, started to catch fire now. Tell you what, Jim, Lopez is going to be a competitor here. A little bit of an apology. Nice to see that.
I want you straight up there. I want you left hook right hand. Go up there.
There's that. It's like a seepage.
Yeah, okay. It's nothing.
Got a little oil leak, but nothing.
And it's the 5th round then. And once again, the great fighter of his time, but you know, isn't he? Julio Cesar Chavez, the Mexican hero, 3 times world champion, different weights.
Well, it seems that the change in Lopez's tactics might be the corners idea. They want more movement, they want to keep low. But you want him to be doing things that he can build on. And I feel if he gives the initiative away to Chavez, he could have more problems. Chavez is just a little bit slow and getting his punches off at the moment. Not looking quite as menacing as we've seen him in the past.
No, you know, the Frankie Randall fight proved that, Jim, and the Pernell Whitaker fight, when the American press really raved about that one and thought that Whitaker was robbed. Jim White and I thought he won it, but not quite the wide margin that the Americans thought. Maybe it was the way he did it, the sort of hit and hop and stuff. But that's certainly not Lopez's style. He mixes it well. A couple of great fights with the South African Brian Mitchell, draw and then lost a return. And then he won the lightweight championship against Joey Ganache.
Well, what he's doing is working at the moment. Chavez not pinning him down. Trying that left hook to the body, but not getting the punches off sharply enough. Lopez's corners feel that the more movement, then the more problems for Chavez. And at the moment, it's working not badly.
Yeah, that was what he was saying before the fight, Lopez, that my style won't suit Chavez because I can move and I can jab well. And so far he's doing okay.
In that exchange, Lopez produced the better punches. Maybe not the strongest shots, but he's got a home cleaner.
Oh, this is warming up now, Jim, all right.
Yeah, well, Chavez going to work now because he was having some problems with Lopez's tactics at the beginning of this round, but he's responded well.
Jim?
Yeah, well, Lopez's tactics gave Chavez a few problems in that round. Chavez missing a lot, taking too long to get the punches off. He finished the round well, but for the first couple of minutes, the better work was coming from Lopez.
7th round coming up then of this WBC Light Welterweight Championship of the World. And the challenger Tony Lopez going well at this stage, swollen a bit around the left eye. They had the ice packs out between rounds there.
Well, Chavez really must start to stamp his authority on the fight now. He's given Lopez too much room to move, and now Lopez is trying to back him up.
Well, I tell you, Chavez has had one or two close encounters, Jim, isn't he, in recent times now. And we're just wondering now whether he's hit the slide. And, well, it'd be sad to see that, but full credit at the moment to Tony Lopez.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Lopez. He's messing Chavez about, not allowing him to get set. I mean, some of the work just a little bit sloppy here. But the main thing is he's backing Chavez up and not allowing him to get leverage into the counters.
As you were saying earlier, Jim, it's taking Chavez longer to get his punches off than normal.
Yeah, but he lacks sharpness. I mean, by now you would expect him to be backing Lopez up and using his strength, putting punches together and really hurting Lopez, but he's never managed to do that. He's finishing the round strongly, but Lopez is getting off too many punches in the first couple of minutes.
Oh, it's some good stuff in now. In fighting, that's a couple of world champions there. The referee did well. They left them alone, didn't call break and spoil it. They looked like they were going to hold.
Well, this round won't do Lopez's confidence any harm because he stood to trade with Chavez and pushed him back for the greater part of the round. Starting to hang on a little bit now with Lopez, and up back he comes again with punches. Took a good right hand from Chavez there.
Yeah, he takes a good whack, Lopez, and he'll need to. What a good fight. Crowd are going crazy here. Sign language from the Argentine referee. Oh, he's getting his punches harder now, close in. His face is getting marked up here, Lopez. Yeah, that's the first cut there. That's a bad sign. Round 9. And this could well be a cliffhanger here for the great champion of his time here, Julio Cesar Chavez. How have you got it, Jim?
I think Lopez is just nicking it at the moment, just on sheer volume of punching. Chavez punches always look the stronger. And Lopez is the one who has to keep the smart tactics going. But Chavez has been missing so much. And too often in some of the rounds, he's left his drive a little bit too late in the round. Tried to cram too much work into the last 45 seconds or so. I think Chavez still has it to do.
real noticeable with Chavez, Jim, is that split second as he was trying to make up his mind to let the punch go, which didn't happen in his younger day, just let them flow.
Yeah, he hasn't sustained the attacks tonight the way he does on one of his better nights. And he's never solved Lopez out. He's never managed to cut the ring off and pin him in corners for long enough to do anything effective. See, again, Chavez missing.
He certainly left it very late, doesn't he? Come the 9th round now for Chavez to use his wearing down tactics. This fella's really trained hard. He's done well. Lopez, no doubt about that. His brother's his trainer. And, well, he knows this could be his last fling at a World Championship, really. At 31 and 50 fights.
Chavez is certainly the stronger of the two Reds, but he hasn't made that strength pay yet. See, you can see even the expression on his face there. He's really annoyed with himself. He knows he should be doing better here.
Yeah, there was a time when his punches were like a threshing machine, Jim, weren't they, Chavez? But as I said before, there's just that little pause at times with him, but setting by his own high standards. That's what I mean. That's the sort of stuff he used to be able to sustain, but he doesn't look as though he can now.
See, Lopez has got problems now with the other eye swelling and the cut as well now in the right eye.
You have to back him up. Besides that, when you back him up, he's less than the fighter.
That's the doctor now. He's
all right, one more round.
one more round. That'll frighten Lopez a little bit there. Certainly from our position, Jim, I've seen worse cuts than that been allowed to carry on.
I think it's the fact that there are 2 cuts and also a lot of swelling around both eyes, but I think that's a little bit strong, giving him one more round. I mean, it's not as though he's going to knock this man out. There are no signs he could knock Chavez out. See, Chavez finished the round with a burst that he should have started the round with.
Well, I wonder what the confidence now of coming out for round 10. Tony Lopez now, when the doctor says one more round, that's, well, I haven't heard that in a long time. I heard referees say it. Yeah, as you say, Jim, it's the swellings that's going to be the problem as much as the cuts around Lopez's eyes.
He does throw a good left hook to the body, Chavez. Gets a lot of leverage into that punch.
Yeah, he's always favoured that. Yeah, it looks like Chavez is saying, well, if they think I'm a bit behind, I'm going to try and pull it out these last couple of rounds.
And Chavez's punching has improved in this round. This is better stuff from Chavez. Real well-delivered, powerful shots, and he's looking for the target. This is more like the old Chavez. The referee want to get the doctor up again.
Yeah, well, as he said only one more round, he's going to stop it here. Doctor will advise the referee to stop it here, I'm sure of that, because if he's already said one more round, that's it, no more. I figured he'd say that, Jim, and that's a great pity for Tony Lopez. He's fought a very good fight, and those points had to be very marginal by then.
You can see the relief on Chavez's face. He's delighted. Normally Chavez wouldn't want to win a fight in that manner, But now all he wants is a win. He's not too worried how he gets, and he must have known he was struggling for long periods in that fight and getting his act together.
Now that was 510 professional rounds for this fellow Chavez. And, well, it looked like going to the wire, didn't it, at that stage? And we feel sorry, definitely, for Tony Lopez. But, well, always on the side of safety with the medicals.
That's absolutely right. Look at Lopez there. Badly busted up by Chavez, and this despite an injury to the champion's left arm that he claimed had prevented him from operating at full power. Sometime in 1995, though, a third meeting with Frankie the Surgeon Randall is very much on the cards, and Randall easily retained his WBA version of the title. Before this fight, the feeling was that the challenger from Philadelphia, Rodney Moore, was a bit out of his depth, and that's just how it turned out. Randall knocked him over in the first round, and he dominated through to the 7th when the referee intervened. A really nice little earner for Randall, but it's 1-1 with Chavez, and now he wants the decider.